So here's the audience.
Hey.
Okay, so my name is Lauren Adams, and I'm going to be telling you guys about Dr. Martin Luther King, a short biography about him, okay? So Dr. King was a Baptist minister and also a social activist who led the civil rights movement in the United States from the mid-1950s until his death in 1968. He was not only a civil rights activist, but he was also a college graduate from Boston University, Morehouse College, and many others. Dr. King is known for being the one who helped lead the civil rights movement, but there's more than what we were taught, in high school. So I'm just going to give you a little insight about his early days and how he got to the Dr. Luther King that we know. So according to Bio.com, Dr. King was born January 15 in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was the middle child, and his grandfather was the minister at the time. They moved to Atlanta in 1893, and his grandfather took over the famous church, Ebenezer Baptist Church. This is where Dr. King got most of his words and sermons and background. So in the early days, Dr. King started public school when he was 5 years old. Shortly after that, he was baptized. Even though he was baptized, he didn't seem to get his act together immediately. He used to sneak out the house against his parents' will and go to parades. So one evening, he went to a parade against his parents' will, and his great-grandmother Jeannie passed away. So that took a toll on him, and many don't know this, but Dr. King jumped from his 2-story home and attempted suicide at the age 15 because he took him, the death of his grandmother took him, by surprise, and he felt bad because he was actually against his parents' will at the time. So after that, through Dr. King's troubles as an adolescent, he got his act together and he went to school. He ended up skipping 9th and 11th grade, and he was a freshman in college at the age of 15 at Morehouse. So at first, when he was at Morehouse, he was really against the religion thing. He did not want to follow into his grandfather's and father's footsteps. He wanted to pave his own way. It was not until he was a senior in it was his freshman year, it was his fall semester in his senior year, and he took a Bible course. And when he took the Bible course, he started to put 2 and 2 together, and he was looking at the world, and the president of the college actually took Dr. King underneath his wing and mentored him. And that's when he decided that he was going to make a difference in the world, and he was going to start his journey as a civil rights activist. And that's all. So I hope that this gave you a little bit more insight about Dr. King and how he became where he was and the person that he was, and how he was not perfect in the beginning, and he didn't even think that this was the path he was going to follow. So I have a question for you. What will you endure to be great? The end.